Welcome to the Explainer. If you're running a business right now or just handling user data in any capacity, May 13th, 2027, well, it might sound like a date that's safely off in the distant future, right? So, here's what we're looking at today. We're going to demystify the 2025 rules, look at the phased implementation timeline, walk through the key changes for your business, talk about consent managers and children's data, break down the actual cost of noncompliance, and finally, get you set up with a rock-solid compliance action plan. Don't worry, we're covering everything you need to know to avoid those massive penalties and get your business ready.
All right, part one, demystifying the 2025 rules. Let's clear up some of the widespread confusion going around right now. Okay, let's dive into this because there's a huge myth we need to bust right out of the gate. A lot of people are talking about a quote-unquote DPDP Act 2025. Actually, scratch that. There is no brand new act from 2025. The actual law, the DPDP Act that created your data rights, was passed way back in 2023. It kind of just sat quietly until the rules dropped in 2025. Think of the 2025 rules as your ultimate how-to guide. They explain exactly how you're supposed to handle data to hit that 2027 deadline. They work together.
I love this metaphor from the source material. Think of the 2023 Act as the actual dish you want to cook, right? Like the final goal of a secure, private digital ecosystem. But, you can't just stare at a kitchen and wish a meal into existence. You need instructions. That's exactly what the 2025 rules are. They're the step-by-step cooking instructions. The 23 rules and 7 schedules that take the high-level theory of the law and turn it into the actual daily actions your business has to take. Moving right along to Section 2, the phased implementation timeline, because smart planning always starts with clear dates. So this whole rollout is happening in 3 distinct phases. And here's the crazy part. Phase 1 is already behind us. As of November 13th, 2025, the Data Protection Board went live. I really want to emphasize this. The board that handles privacy complaints is actively working today. The risk is already real. Then Phase 2 hits November 2026, which is when consent manager registrations start. And finally, Phase 3, May 13th, 2027. That is the ultimate drop-dead date. From that day forward, it's full compliance across the board. Absolutely zero grace period. Which brings us to Section 3, key changes for businesses. This is where we get into the heavy lifting required during this countdown. The new rules drop 4 core, absolutely unavoidable duties on your plate that are going to reshape your daily work. First, you must map your data and give clear, separate consent notices. No more burying your data grabs in page 40 of some massive terms and conditions document. You got to tell users exactly what you want and why. Second, fast data breach notification. Hiding a data breach? Yeah, that is no longer safe. You have to report it immediately. Third, strict data retention and erasure limits are mandatory. And fourth, you got to step up your security safeguards. Think end-to-end encryption and really strict access controls. Let's just pause on that third point for a second, because I think we can all relate to this. We all have that one ancient, totally random shopping or gaming account from like 2015 that we completely forgot about, right? Well, under the new rules, companies can't just hoard your data forever in perpetuity. If that account is unused and the purpose for collecting the data has expired, the company literally must delete it. Data hoarding used to be standard practice. Now it's officially a massive liability. Now, if your company handles massive amounts of data, the rules throw you into a special category called Significant Data Fiduciaries, or SDFs. If this is you, the requirements get even tougher. You must appoint a data protection officer who is actually based physically in India. You've got to run regular privacy impact assessments. And this is super interesting. You have to complete independent audits, which includes carefully reviewing your algorithms to spot and fix unfair or risky patterns. Basically, more data brings significantly more responsibility. All right, Section 4, Consent Managers and Children. These rules are bringing in a brand new role for India and establishing the strictest protections online for young users. Okay, so the 2025 rules introduce this really cool concept, the consent manager. Think of this as a registered platform where you, the user, can handle all of your data consents across all sorts of different apps and websites, but from one single dashboard. You can allow or block data sharing with just a quick click instead of chasing down privacy settings hidden deep in 30 different apps. It gives real privacy power back to the user. It puts them fully in charge. It's actually a pretty unique system globally, and these managers are going to start registering with the board in late 2026. And when it comes to children, which the rules define as anyone under 18, the protections are incredibly strict. You can't just rely on a lazy little, yes, I am over 18 checkbox anymore. No way. You must get verifiable parental consent. That means a real verified adult actually has to approve the account. On top of that, absolutely zero tracking is allowed, and no targeted advertising can be aimed at kids. It's a huge shift, making the internet a fundamentally safer space for young users. So what about moving data out of India? Well, the 2025 rules set up a negative list system. What that means is, by default, cross-border data transfers are totally open. You can send data abroad to process it, no problem. But the government holds the power to create a negative list, which would block transfers to certain restricted countries. So while data can flow freely right now, companies really need to stay alert to any official government updates regarding this negative list. Section 5. The cost of non-compliance. Because ignoring the 2025 rules can literally cost a fortune. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is just the sheer jaw-dropping scale of that number. 250 crore rupees. That is the maximum penalty for a single violation. The government is not messing around here. They are making compliance an absolute, undeniable business imperative. Let's look at how that breaks down. Okay, so exactly which violations trigger which penalties? If you have weak security safeguards that lead to a breach, boom, that's where you hit that maximum 250 crore penalty tier. If you fail to report a data breach to the board, or if you mess up those super strict rules around children's data we just talked about, you're looking at up to 200 crore. Failing other general duties can still cost up to 50 crore. And here is the kicker, folks. The board can fine you for each individual violation. Repeated failures are going to stack up incredibly fast. Trust me, prevention is far, far cheaper than the fine. Let's pivot to the solution in Section 6, your compliance action plan, because taking small steps today prevents massive problems tomorrow. Here is your 6-step checklist to get moving right now. Step 1. Map your data. Know exactly what you're collecting and where it lives, and avoid the common mistake of collecting way more than you actually need. Step 2. Fix your notices. Get rid of the confusing legal jargon and make your consent checkboxes actually transparent. Step 3. Plan for breaches now. Build a fast response process so you aren't completely panicking when disaster strikes. Step 4. Set your data deletion limits for those old accounts. Step 5. Boost your digital security with encryption. And Step 6. Name a dedicated point of contact to handle user privacy complaints. It's a lot, but taking it step by step makes it completely manageable. The DPDP Rules 2025 have taken India's data law from this theoretical concept and turned it into an undeniable, on-the-ground reality. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. The countdown has started. The enforcers are already in place. The clock is relentlessly ticking towards May 13th, 2027. Will your business be ready, or are you going to be caught paying the price? Start your compliance journey today. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.